when the supply-demand gap, when you're producing too much debt, and you have also a shortage of buyers. What's happening now is we have to sell all this.
You're walking down a bustling city street, trying to make ends meet, when suddenly it hits you. Everything seems more expensive, prices are climbing faster than your paycheck, and you can't help but wonder why. Well, get ready to uncover the harsh reality behind the looming debt crisis that's economically guaranteed to hit us all. Picture an economist with a no-nonsense approach, breaking down the harsh realities of our economic landscape against a backdrop of alarming graphs illustrating the surge in debt and inflation rates. The message is crystal clear. The government spending spree is driving inflation through the roof, impacting everyday individuals like never before. As consumer credit card debt skyrockets and savings dwindle at an alarming pace, it's evident that the financial strain is felt by all, not just the government. The narrative paints a vivid picture of a nation drowning in debt, with consequences that extend far beyond the walls of Washington. Each dollar borrowed by the government diminishes the value of money, sending prices soaring and leaving individuals struggling to make ends meet. The cycle of debt and inflation perpetuates a vicious cycle, with no easy solution in sight. But it's not just government debt that's causing concern. Consumer behavior is also under the microscope, with credit card debt reaching unprecedented levels and savings dwindling. Many find themselves living beyond their means, caught in a cycle of debt and financial insecurity. The consequences of this lifestyle extend far beyond individual households, with ripple effects felt throughout the economy. In the face of these challenges, the message is clear. It's time to take control of your financial futures. By reassessing spending habits, prioritizing savings, and making informed investment decisions, individuals can mitigate the impact of looming debt crisis. The path to financial security begins with awareness and action, and it's up to each individual to chart their course in uncertain economic waters. But what does this mean for us? As the economist's warning sinks in, it's clear that the stakes couldn't be higher. Brace yourself, because the storm of a debt crisis is brewing, and its impact will reverberate throughout every corner of society. When a nation finds itself drowning in debt, it's not just a problem for policymakers and economists to fret over. It's a crisis that touches the lives of every individual, from the bustling city streets to the quiet suburbs. As the economist's words sink in, the gravity of the situation becomes all too real. The repercussions of an impending debt crisis are dire, and the most immediate consequence is the skyrocketing prices of everyday goods and services. It's a scenario that's difficult to fathom until it's staring you in the face. Imagine walking into your local grocery store, only to find that the cost of essentials has doubled or even tripled overnight. From bread and milk to gasoline and housing, the inflationary pressure unleashed by excessive debt sends prices soaring, leaving families struggling to afford even the most basic necessities. But the impact doesn't stop there. As prices continue to climb higher and higher, the purchasing power of each dollar diminishes, exacerbating the financial strain on families already stretched thin. Empty store shelves become a common sight as goods become scarce and demand outstrips supply, leaving consumers with limited options and little recourse. Worried faces replace the once familiar smiles as families grapple with the harsh reality of financial uncertainty, unsure of how they'll make ends meet in the face of mounting expenses and dwindling resources. For many families, the economic fallout of a debt crisis is not just a hypothetical scenario. It's a terrifying reality that threatens their very livelihood. As they struggle to navigate the choppy waters of economic instability, they're forced to make difficult choices and sacrifices in order to survive. Yet despite their best efforts, many find themselves slipping further and further behind, caught in a downward spiral of debt and despair. In the face of such challenges, the resilience of individuals and communities is put to the test. From tightening budgets to seeking out alternative sources of income, families are forced to adapt to a new economic reality where every dollar counts. Yet despite their best efforts, many find themselves caught in a cycle of debt and financial insecurity, struggling to stay afloat in an increasingly turbulent sea of economic uncertainty. So why isn't anyone in Washington sounding the alarm? With a sense of incredulity, the economist gestures towards the audience, conveying a deep disappointment in the short-sightedness of policymakers. It's a sentiment echoed by many who have watched as the can of economic problems is kicked further and further down the road, with little regard for the inevitable consequences. The prevailing attitude seems to be one of complacency, as if the party of endless spending and borrowing will never come to an end. Despite the prevailing optimism and the illusion of perpetual economic growth, the economist's warning rings out loud and clear. The party will end, and when it does, the fallout will be far-reaching and profound. It's a sobering reminder that economic realities, no matter how inconvenient, cannot be ignored indefinitely. The consequences of unchecked debt accumulation and irresponsible fiscal policies will eventually catch up with us all, regardless of our optimism or wishful thinking. As the economist's words hang in the air, there's a palpable sense of unease among the audience. It's a recognition that tough times lie ahead, and that the era of abundance and prosperity may soon come to an abrupt end. Despite efforts to downplay the severity of the situation or to push the inevitable consequences into the distant future, the economist's warning serves as a wake-up call, forcing us to confront the harsh realities of our economic predicament. For some, the economist's warning may come as a shock, a rude awakening from the blissful ignorance of economic complacency. For others, it may serve as a validation of long-held concerns and suspicions about the unsustainable nature of current economic policies. Regardless of one's initial reaction, the message is clear. The time for reckoning is fast approaching, and the fallout from the end of the party will be felt by all, regardless of socio-economic status or political affiliation. In face of such uncertainty, there's a collective sense of urgency to take action and prepare for the inevitable downturn. It's a reminder that tough times require tough measures, and the proactive steps must be taken to mitigate the impact of the impending economic crisis. From individuals tightening their belts and prioritizing savings to policymakers implementing responsible fiscal policies, there's a shared responsibility to confront the challenges head-on and to navigate the stormy seas of economic uncertainty with resilience and determination. Indeed, the impending end of the party is not a matter of if, but when. And when it finally arrives, the repercussions will be felt across society, sparing no one from its painful grasp. From policymakers to everyday citizens, no one will be immune to the fallout of an economic system built on unsustainable debt and spending. It's a wake-up call to those who have grown accustomed to living beyond their means, a reminder that the bill for our excesses will eventually come due. Amidst the sobering realities of the impending debt crisis, there emerges a glimmer of hope. The economist, keenly aware of the challenges ahead, refuses to succumb to despair. Instead, he offers a beacon of light in the form of actionable solutions that can help individuals weather the storm and emerge stronger on the other side. It's a reminder that even in the face of adversity, there are steps we can take to protect ourselves and our loved ones from the worst of the fallout. With a calm demeanor and a wealth of expertise, the economist lays out a roadmap for financial resilience. He emphasizes the importance of protecting wealth and purchasing power in an environment where the value of money is rapidly eroding. If you have found this video informative and insightful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below.